Hello, Study Mums, and welcome to the Study Mums Pathways to Success podcast, the podcast that helps mums achieve their study goals faster, easier, and with less stress. I'm your host, Susie Phillips. I am a study mum and co-founder of studymum.com.au, which is a free online community for mums who want to study. Now, Study Mum's mission to make studying easier for mums by providing free inspiration, support, and guidance. And I hope that's exactly what we do today. It's not just about studying, but it's about all aspects of your life. And today we have a very special guest, Joanne Graham, who is a holistic personal trainer. Hi, Joanne. Welcome to the show.
Hi, Susie. Thank you for having me on here today.
I am very, very honoured that you have given us the time today, and I am very interested in finding out more about what holistic training actually involves.
Okay, so I decided to call myself the holistic personal trainer because I believe that health and wellness can't just come from one aspect of your life. You have to look at your health in a holistic way. So you can't just focus on exercise and expect to get good results. You can't just only focus on nutrition and expect to get good results. I think that you need to focus on nutrition, exercise, wellness. It's a whole, thinking of your body as a whole, your stomach, the gut health that you have, mental health, stress in your life, sleep, circadian rhythms, everything comes together to really determine how well or how badly you're doing in your life.
Okay, wonderful. Well, that sounds, basically, and you're a mum as well of two boys. And
yeah.
So your journey through fitness, obviously you would have had to do a lot of study as well.
Absolutely right. So when I decided to become a personal trainer, I was working full time, but I'm so passionate about it. I just felt this nagging in my gut that I needed to do something more. I had a very respectable job, earning fairly good money, but it just wasn't enough. There was something that was just pulling me in a direction. So I decided to do my Cert 3 and 4 in personal training. And obviously I was working full time. I also do martial arts, and I have 2 boys and a husband and a house and a dog. So yes, fitting that studying in was very challenging, but because I was so passionate about it and it's something that I really wholeheartedly wanted to do, you find the time. So I would get up at 4 o'clock in the morning and I would do 2.5 hours worth of studying before I then got the boys up and ready, and then we all got ready and went to school and work. And then when I got home after dinner, again I would get my computer out and do my studying. And really it is a determination to achieve your goal, and that's what drove me forward, was the desire to improve and also the nagging feeling that I had in my heart that I was meant to do this.
Right. And so what got you into the fitness aspect to begin with?
Well, as a mum of 2 young boys 10 years ago, I found myself fairly overweight. I was nearly 100 kilos. I'm only 5'5", so that's, I was much, much bigger than what I wanted to be. And my sister asked me to be her bridesmaid. Now, I didn't want to be the bigger bridesmaid. I wanted the dress to look nice. So I decided that I was going to embark on my first weight loss diet, and it was very successful. I lost the weight. I was fabulous on the wedding day, but then started the next decade of fighting to keep that weight off, and it set me off on a journey of exploration as to what worked and what doesn't work, and also health issues as well that I had, and lots of women have them, difficulties with menstruation and stuff like that as well. So it really was a journey to heal myself and be the best version that I could be.
Wow, that's fantastic. And now it's turned into a life purpose, basically, in helping others.
Absolutely. I think women especially need support, because when we go to the doctors, they're not always helpful when blood test results come back normal, and they're told there's nothing wrong with them, and they just know that there is. So we need a more holistic approach to health, and that's where I like to focus with my clients, is what's going on with you, what can we do to help you.
Yeah, and I think with study mums especially, just busy mums, you don't even have to be studying. Motherhood, basically, you lack energy, your sleep patterns are all messed up, And yeah, there's a lot of stress going on, especially if you've got study on top of your everyday tasks. What are some of the ways that you can suggest that, we hear of this self-care always recommended for mums in general, let alone when you're studying. So how do we incorporate that kind of self-care and get that fitness happening and fit that into our schedule?
Well, I think one of the things that resonates with me when I have mums in for assessments is that they don't prioritise their health. They put themselves last. They put their children first, and then their husbands, and then the house, and then somewhere down the bottom is them. But in my experience, if you don't prioritise your health as a mum, the whole house isn't thriving. It really reverberates through the whole house. So it's not selfish to put yourself first. It's important to put yourself first, because if mum's doing well, the rest of the house is doing well. So you really have to make it a priority.
Absolutely. So what kind of first steps can you do? I mean, obviously it's a bit of you've got to get over that mummy guilt for starters to get to that first stage of finding how you can fit that into your routine.
Yeah, I mean, I think that obviously incidental exercise is huge. So parking the furthest away from the shops so that you get a little bit of a walk, taking the stairs instead of the escalator, but also approaching a PT or a trainer. Yes, it's quite daunting, but they are there to help you. They're there to get you over your nerves. You don't have to be the expert, because they are, and they want to help you achieve your goals. And don't be put off. It's not like The Biggest Loser where you'll get screamed at and made to vomit in a bucket. They will start at your level and build you up to build up your strength and your confidence, because confidence is key.
Yeah, and in group fitness as well. I've only just started doing a mummy boot camp, basically, where the kids come along, and it's fantastic. It's heaps of fun. Do you think that would be a good place to start?
Absolutely,
as well?
Because it puts you together with like-minded people. There's other women there with their children. Incorporating the children in the exercise is so much fun, and it also shows the children that exercise is part of everyday life, and pass on that principles to them as they grow up, and that's so important.
Right, yeah, most definitely. And it's a lot of fun too.
Absolutely right. And we're all out in the fresh air. I mean, it's just a win-win situation.
Yeah, and I think in local areas as well, it's not a very expensive thing. Obviously, some people might be on really tight budgets and things and may not be able to get a personal trainer. What about mindset? Has that got a lot to do with sort of getting started as well?
Absolutely right. Yeah, I totally agree. Being lacking in confidence, especially when you think everyone else is the expert and you're the novice and you just can't do it. You know, you might embarrass yourself. Don't forget that everyone's been in that situation themselves. Everyone was a beginner at some point, even myself. I had that first day in a gym where I didn't know how to use any of the machines. I felt like everyone was looking at me, but people aren't looking at you. No one judges you, because they know that if you're there, then you have a desire to improve yourself and to improve your fitness. So just go ahead and do it. Just take the leap, because it may well be the best thing that you've ever done in your life.
Okay, so for people where getting a personal trainer, even going to the mummy group right now, may not just have the confidence, may not be able to take that leap right now, what are some of the things that they can do at home in privacy of home, just to build that up until they get to a level where they think, oh, I'm feeling more?
Absolutely. So lots of stuff that I like to do, because I sometimes struggle to fit a proper workout in the day. So lots of stuff that I do is incidental exercise around the house. So if I'm brushing my teeth, you may squat for 2 minutes while you brush your teeth. You can do lunges as the microwave or the kettle's going. You can pick up 2 baked bean cans and do bicep curls. You can do dips off a chair, and you can have a look on the internet to see some exercises that you can do around the house. And just getting up and moving. Take your kids out for a walk, take them down the park, go and kick a football on your local field. Everything helps. Everything is exercise. It doesn't have to be prescribed, but if you're up and moving, you'll find that you start to feel better, and that starts to perpetuate you wanting it to do more and more. And with feeling good about exercise comes with wanting to eat well and wanting to look after yourself. So it really does perpetuate itself.
Right. So basically that getting up, getting moving will snowball into that putting yourself first because you're starting to
Absolutely.
feel good and yeah, okay. All right. Um, Basically with like exercising in general, what you're saying there, just it's just a consistency, isn't it? It's something small to be
Yeah.
consistent with. It's not necessarily allocating time where you have to fit that exercise and have a strict exercise routine.
Yeah, absolutely. You don't have to be perfect, but just every time you can do it, it's better than doing nothing. And the only difference between someone who's achieved what you think your goal is that they never gave up, they never stopped. And that's all that you need to do is never give up and never stop. You might have good days or bad days, but tomorrow's another day and you can continue on your goal. It really isn't something that you have to be 100% just better than nothing.
Right. And so you mentioned that you had a few sort of obstacles and challenges to get over. You know, you lost the weight initially and then you basically relapsed on that. What were the biggest challenges that you had during that process?
I think the biggest challenge is to really understand what's healthy for your body. Not everyone's the same, and you really have to experiment to see what works for you. So, you know, one thing that might work for your best friend might not work the same for you. So don't be disheartened and give up. Keep trying, keep pushing, keep experimenting and see what you're good at, what your strengths are, and just don't give up. That's really the big message, is just keep trying.
Yeah. And so if you were to start experimenting, how would you go about, you know, finding out that information to start with? How do you know what your body in particular needs? Like, how do you gauge that?
So, I mean, obviously, if you're trying to do it on your own, it's going to be a lot harder.
Right.
Getting the help of a professional really will show you what you're capable of. For instance, lots of women are very scared of resistance training and using weights because they think that they may end up very, very muscly. But working with a trainer will let you understand that it's incredibly difficult for women to build their bodies up to look like very masculine, and that resistance training is really one of the best types of exercise that women especially can do. So it's not so much about I only want to do cardio because I don't want to look like Arnold Schwarzenegger. Coming to do resistance training as a woman is really important, but learning how to do it safely, because there's lots of bad advice out there, and sometimes it is worth paying for a professional so that you can do effective training and safe training.
Right, because mums, you know, especially have to take into account those pelvic floor issues that some may have. I think they are sort of varying degrees for everybody, especially.
Yeah.
I just actually purchased a mini trampoline because I heard that was very good for the lymphatic system and whatnot.
Yeah.
I found that very interesting for the first time, but it's also a very fun exercise as well.
Exactly. And you can get your kids on a mini trampoline to jump as well. How much fun is that?
It's great in the evenings, just before bedtime. It's fantastic. I just let my son go for it. It's
so good. And a skipping rope. You only need to even a skipping rope.
Yeah, but you need a little bit of coordination for that. So hopefully there's a lot of mums out there that actually do have that.
Yeah.
I unfortunately lack it in that department. You know, there's quite a few little things you do. Do you need much equipment, do you think, to get started at home?
Not necessarily. Use your body weight. There's a lot of resistance to be gained, push-ups, sit-ups, stuff like that. You can achieve an awful lot. And in my sessions, I quite often use body weight exercises with higher reps to get a good fatigue going on for those muscles.
Yeah. Do you think one of the biggest challenges I know I personally had when starting to, and you know, I'm still struggling to get a routine with exercise and whatnot, but I see a lot of my friends also that pressure on themselves to work out to a certain degree, you know, to go too hard, too fast, to try and be 100% at everything that we do. As mums, I think we just do that.
Yeah.
What's your advice surrounding that?
Well, obviously, if you go too hard too quickly, your body's going to tell you that perhaps that you did too much. Try and get over that as best you can, but don't let it put you off. And then just gauge what your body does and doesn't like, and it will tell you through pain. So if you find that you can't walk or sit up, stand up, sit down, then you just know that you've worked very hard. Although muscle soreness is to be expected, obviously, if you haven't used your muscles in that way in a long time, it is to be expected. But just let your body be the gauge. Tuning into your body's signals is key to everything and key to health in general. And we'll talk about more of the satiety and hunger signals. So really being mindful of how your body feels while you're doing something is going to be key for your wellness all round.
Right. Okay. And what about the stretching aspect too? That's always a big one. I know sometimes when I might be on the trampoline for 10, 20 minutes and think, yep, that's great. That's all I have time for. And off I go and do a few other things. And I haven't stretched. I haven't done anything. How important is that?
Well, again, your body's going to tell you afterwards that how you feel, so you'll feel quite tight. Warming up and cooling down is very important, and it's something that maybe you do need to find out how to do properly so that you don't do yourself an injury.
Is there a particular time of the day, do you think, that's best, or is that just up to the individual?
I think it's up to the individual. I have clients who love to work out in the morning, and I have clients who love to work out in the evening. It all really depends on the individual. There's no right or wrong. There's a lot of research that goes into the best time of the day to exercise, to eat pre or post exercise, and really it just depends on what you prefer.
Okay, all right. And I'm guessing that when assessments are due and whatnot and you're feeling quite stressed out, that exercise would be a very important aspect to that.
Absolutely. And really, if you're struggling with something academic, going to do a workout or having some exercise, going for a walk, comes back, clears your mind, and you'll come back stronger and with more clarity. Really, exercise is the best medicine for most things, because if you're feeling down, it makes you feel good. If you're feeling, stuck in a problem when you're doing assignments and stuff like that, it just gives you a clarity that nothing else can compare to be honest. It's fantastic.
Yeah. So, and yeah, I've definitely noticed I slept better last night after boot camp. So that definitely made a big difference.
You've got endorphins all over you, and that's just going to make you feel beautiful.
Yes. And study mums out there, if you do a boot camp, coming home and doing the housework straight away is a great tip, because before you start getting sore and the energy levels drop, because it does give you that boost.
It does. Yeah. You feel like $1 million for the rest of the day. So. Yeah.
It is incredible and fun. So with that incidental exercise that you're talking about, I really like the idea of that. Do you have any more examples of that?
Oh my gosh, so you can literally do anything. So when you get out of bed in the morning, you could make it your protocol to say do 10 sit-ups, 10 push-ups, 10 squats, 10 lunges on each leg every day for a week, and then up it to 15, and then a week later up it to 20. See how far you can go. You will be amazed at how quickly your body grows and becomes stronger. Your body's an amazing thing, and it's really good to push it and just to see what you're capable of.
So just those little steps and those consistent steps can make a big difference.
Absolutely. Consistency, that's the key. Not giving up, that's the key. Believing that you can do it, you can do it. You can do anything you want to if you put your mind to it. You can literally achieve anything.
So I think, saying to yourself before you go to bed at night, right, I'm going to get up and I'm going to do 10 of these, 10 of that. But there's got to be a big motivator, hasn't it? You've got to understand why you want to do that.
Do you know, I always say to my clients when they're struggling with something is to become a robot. Okay. Don't think about it, just move. So we're great at talking ourselves out of things. Oh, I don't feel very well today. Oh, I didn't sleep very well last night, so therefore that's my excuse not to do it. Stop thinking. Become a robot, and before you know it, you've done 10 sit-ups, 10 push-ups, 10 squats, and 10 lunges on each leg, and you're done. And then you're going to feel fabulous for the rest of the day, and so glad you didn't talk yourself out of it.
Right, that's a great tip. So straight out of bed and just not think about it.
Be a robot.
That's fantastic. All right, well, we might leave that here today, Jo, and that's fantastic advice. We're going to have you on the show again, and we're going to talk more about nutrition. So I hope everyone looks out for that. So thank you so much for your time today, and I hope, Study Mums, that you get moving, and that will definitely help you with balancing life in general. Thanks so much, Jo.
Thank you.